to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. Powered through the Alaska Airlines Studios.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Spring training right around the corner. We're bringing on ESPN's David Schoenfield to talk Mariners and MLB now on the Emerald Wing Casino Sportsbook Hotline. David, how's it going?
I'm good. I get to go shovel some snow when I'm done with you guys. But otherwise, all good. We got about a foot of snow out here in Connecticut.
It doesn't feel very spring-like quite yet then for you.
No, we got fooled. We had like record 55 degrees a couple days ago. No, well, it's still winter. What do you do?
That dang, what are they, groundhog. He lied to us.
Exactly.
Hey, David, a month ago, you gave the Mariners offseason an F grade. Now, I'm not mad at that. But there have been a couple changes since then. You've got Polanco and Santos trades. Has your opinion changed a little bit? Are we up to a D-?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm actually working on my final off-season grades, although there's still a lot of players out there who haven't signed.
Right.
But yeah, I think I've been a little harsh on the Mariners, and certainly I think these last two deals will raise that grade. Look, Jerry Dipoto was handed, a bad deal, right? I think he probably back at the end of the season thought he'd get to raise that payroll. So it's not on him that the owners aren't giving him any money. He's had to, finagle and deal his way through this offseason. And I think given that, I think he's done a pretty good job. Is this an A offseason? No, of course not. I'd probably give it a C. Are they any better? Potentially, yes. I think the lineup might be slightly better than last year.
Bump and I can take it. You C's get degrees, David.
Okay.
We're fine with that.
What do you guys think? What's the word out there? That's about right? Average off season, right?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah,
I think I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. We're hard on the Mariners out here, obviously because of the lack of success over the last 20 years. But everywhere I look, people are just raving about this rotation. So I'm gonna give the Mariners fans something good to listen to. How good is this rotation? What do you think the potential is?
Hey, look, no doubt, potentially right up there, as good as any rotation. We know how good these top three are with Castillo, Gilbert, and Kirby, and I think this is the year George Kirby becomes the staff ace. I think he's a Cy Young contender. And so the keys are going to be Bryce Miller and Brian Wu, and we're reading about them. Both need to develop a pitch to get lefties out. Lefties hammered both of these guys. The concern, can they make it through 30 starts, 150, 160 innings? So that'll be a big test. My only concern is there's not a lot of depth after those five. They traded Robbie Ray. They traded Gonzalez. So, you don't really even have a number 6 starter. So that's the big concern if somebody gets injured.
Hey, we had 2 interesting seasons from Julio Rodriguez. Obviously, a phenomenal Rookie of the Year type performance. And then, it's always hard to meet the bar. I've got to call it a sophomore slump, even though it was still a great season, especially a hot August for Julio. What are some of your expectations, and what are you curious about for his third year?
Yeah, it's all about the consistency, right? Let's be honest. The first couple months last year were really disappointing. He turned it on in the second half, so his final stats looked, basically a match for his rookie year. But he's young enough where we do expect more. Is that unfair? No, that's his ability. That's his talent level, is to be an MVP candidate, not just like a top 10 MVP guy. He's got to cut down the strikeouts, cut down on the chase rate. But he's at that age. He has the experience now. I think he'll do that. And Shohei's not in the league anymore, so that MVP race is a lot more wide open than it's been. And he has the ability to do that.
What do you think of the Mariners outfield? You highlight Julio, obviously. You got Luke as well. JK is no longer here. Just your thoughts on the guys out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of mix and matching, platooning. Mitch Haniger, we all love Mitch. Nice to have him back. He's going to be a huge key. Injured last year with the Giants, did not have a good year. How old is he now? 33, 34, so it's kind of a precarious age for him. So I'm worried about him. I like some of the young guys. Luke Raley, I thought was a nice acquisition from Tampa Bay. He's got some power. He can, slide in, play some first base if needed. So we'll see. Canzone, he has some potential. Cade Marlowe, potential. These guys are going to get an opportunity, and we'll see who steps up.
This division's really interesting at the top for those top three. You've got obviously all three that were in the tightest kind of divisional race to close out the season, and we were all thinking, like, what if the Mariners actually do this? I can't believe it might happen. Obviously, eventually the Astros pull ahead. The Rangers get that wild card. Texas goes on to win the World Series, but both teams in the ALCS, Mariners at home watching. I can't tell where the division is more reflective of when these teams were kind of all head-to-head, or is more reflective of Texas and Houston just being that much further ahead than Seattle. How do you see it?
Yeah, look, it was close last year, right? Here's how I would view it. I don't think the Astros had their best season. They had a lot of injuries and issues with their rotation. So I think their starting rotation will be a little better. They'll have Verlander there for the whole season, a couple guys coming back from injuries. They signed Josh Hader to be their closer, so I think their pitching's going to be a little better. The Rangers, they're going to have Evan Carter for a full season. We saw what he did October. This guy is going to be a really good player. They have another rookie, their first-round pick last year, Wyatt Langford, who tore up the minors. He looks like he's ready. So he's going to be in the outfield in the DH. So as scary as it is, their offense might be even better. Now, they got some issues with their pitching staff, right? Max Scherzer is going to be out until the second half. DeGrom's going to, we don't know when he's coming back. So I see it, Seattle pitching edge, Houston overall edge, Texas offensive edge. I think it's going to be another tight three-team race.